Good morning, one and all. I am G. Sunita, Department of Chemistry in TTW RDC Women Suryapet. Today I will discuss the topic CFT and d orbital splitting in various complexes. In that, I can cover these topics: CFT, shapes of d orbital splitting in octahedral complexes, d orbital splitting in tetrahedral complexes, d orbital splitting in square planar complexes, calculation of CFSE in octahedral complexes, and merits and demerits of CFT. CFT means crystal field theory. What is crystal field theory? First, this theory advanced by Breath and Van Vleck. Originally applied mainly to ionic crystals and is therefore called crystal field theory. In this crystal field theory, here metal and ligand, the nature of metal and ligands are the point charges. In this theory, we take it as point charges. Now, what are the important features of crystal field theory? Main postulates. First one, ionic character. That means, as per this theory, the bond between the central metal atom and the ligand ion, the complex will have ionic character. Whereas valence bond theory, in valence bond theory, the bond between metal and ligand in the complex is covalent in nature. In this crystal field theory, the bond between metal ion and ligand in the complex is ionic character. Okay, here the ligands behave as point charges, where here we have two types of attractions, that is ion-ion attractions and ion-dipole attractions. The ion-ion attractions between the positive metal ion and the negative ligand ions, whereas ion-dipole attractions between neutral ligand and the positive metal ion. Here, in this theory is based on the basis of the d orbitals of the metal and the electrons present in it. This means that the effect of ligands only on the d orbitals of the metal is taken into consideration. So, the properties of the complexes therefore depend on the distribution of d electrons in the d orbitals influenced by the ligands. Here, in this d orbitals, first when ligand approaches, before the ligand approaches, the metal ion has d orbitals. These d orbitals has degenerate state. Degenerate means these d orbitals have energetically equal. So, they all possess same energy. The d orbitals are split as per the energy by the influence of ligand field effect, and they lose their degeneracy. When ligands approaches to the metal atom, what will happen? They lose their degeneracy. So they split into the type. These are the splits. The splitting is known as crystal field splitting. This crystal field splitting, the crystal field splitting of d orbitals is the main basis of the crystal field theory. These are the main postulates. Before going to the d orbital splitting in octahedral complexes, here we have to understand CFT clearly. We must know the shapes of d orbitals. Now our topic is shapes of d orbitals. In shapes of d orbitals, the shapes and the orientation of d orbitals in a transition metal atom The 5 d orbitals of a metal are designated as dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square and dz square. Here dxy, dxz, dyz and dx square minus y square have 4 lobes. These 4 lobes in that dxy, dxz and dyz. In these lobes are present between the axes. Here these are the 4 lobes. These 4 lobes, for example, in dxy, these lobes are present between the xy axis. These are dxy. Where lobes are between x and z axis, this is dxy. Whereas lobes are present between y and z axis, this is dyz. In these 3 cases, dxy, dxz, dyz, the lobes are present between the axes, so these are called non-axial orbitals. Whereas dx square minus y square, these 4 lobes present along the xyz axis, whereas dz square, these lobes are present along the z axis. So here dx square minus y square and dz square orbitals we known as axial orbitals. Here dxy, dxz, dyz, in these 3 orbitals we designated as T2z according to group theory. Whereas dx square minus y square, dz square we denoted as Eg. These are the shapes of d orbitals. Here dxy, dxz, dyz and dx square minus y square, dz square according to the lobes present in between the axis, these are considered as non-axial, whereas along the axis, that is axial, with T2z and Eg, 2 sets of d orbitals. When we see the 3D diagram of shapes of d orbitals, here dyz, in dyz the lobes are present between the y and z axis, whereas dxz, this is the 3D manner of shapes of d orbitals. These are T2g, these are Eg orbitals. Now d orbital splitting in octahedral complexes. In d orbital splitting in octahedral complexes, here we have to take octahedral complex. First, this is our regular octahedral geometry. In this, all metal to ligands bond lengths are same. Metal to ligand bond lengths are same. Here, this is our regular octahedral geometry. In this session, we discuss only splitting of regular octahedral geometry, whereas in PG level, we have to discuss compressed octahedral geometry and elongated octahedral geometry. But in degree level, we have only regular octahedral geometry. So, here metal coordinated to the 6 ligands. These 6 ligands, in this among 6, 2 ligands are present along the x-axis. These 2 ligands are present along the axis. These 2 ligands present along the y-axis. These 2 ligands present along the z-axis. So, the ligands approaches to the metal ion along the x, y, z coordinates in the octahedral geometry. First, metal ion has d orbitals. These are empty d orbitals. When ligand approaches, before the approaches, the metal is surrounded by the crystal field. The name antanna manam crystal field. An electrical field is formed around the metal ion. So, here in this regular octahedral geometry, before approaches to the ligands, the free metal atom has 5 d orbitals, that is dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square and dz square. The energy of d orbitals in free metal ion. Here these are degenerate. Degenerate means in free metal ion, the d orbitals, the 5 d orbitals are energetically equal. When these are get crystal field, that means what happened in this process, an electric field is formed around the metal ion. So because of crystal field, here we have spherical arrangement, spatial arrangement will be get some excited state, so get some energy. Because of some energy, the degeneracy will not last, so energy of d orbitals in spherical field also, these are degenerate in state. Next, when ligands approaches to the metal atom, first here these ligands approaches to the metal atom, what happen, the d orbitals degeneracy will be disturbed. They get into some splittings. This splitting is known as crystal field splitting. We see the splitting here. In this splitting, the T2G orbitals get lower energy, EG orbitals get higher energy. Why only T2G orbitals get lower energy, EG orbitals get higher energy? Why? Because here ligands are approaches to the metal atom, metal ion along the axis. Now, whose metal d orbitals present along the axis, whose metal d orbitals present along the axis, they get high repulsion. They get high repulsion. That's why dx square minus y square and dz square are get higher energy. And dxy, dxz, dyz, these lobes are present between the axis. The ligand approaches to the along the axis. So compared to dx square minus y square, dz square, these gets less repulsive. So they get lower energy. Here this dxy, dxz, dyz we denoted as T2G. What is the, according to group theory, this is T2G means triply degenerate orbitals. T means triply. G means in German gerad. Gerad means symmetric. In German lo symmetric ani meaning. So here in T2G, why we written as G means here we have center of symmetry. According to group theory, when the molecule or when the octahedral geometry have center of symmetry, we give the suffix G, T2G. These are EG. EG means doubly degenerate d orbitals. So energetically these 3 orbitals are same energy. These 2 orbitals have same energy. So these are doubly degenerate orbitals. These are triply degenerate orbitals. The energy difference between EG and T2G. The energy difference between EG and T2G we denoted as delta, that is crystal field stabilization energy. Here delta O means the crystal field stabilization energy in octahedral complexes. So the del naught equal to 10 dq. Del naught equal to 10 dq. The energy when EG set gets high repulsion, it attains plus 0.6 del naught energy or plus 6 dq, whereas T2G set get minus 0.4 del naught, that is minus 4 dq. Here plus denotes the orbitals get higher energy, whereas minus denotes the orbitals get lower energy. This is the d orbital splitting in octahedral complexes. First, what will we discuss here? In the free metal ion state, these are d orbitals are degenerate. When spherical field, these are also degenerate. When ligand approaches to the metal atom, they get disturbed. Where ligands approaches to the xyz coordinates, whose metal d orbitals have along the axis, they get higher energy. Whose d orbitals present between the axis, they get lower energy. This is the d orbital splitting in octahedral complexes. Next, now we discuss about d orbital splitting in tetrahedral complexes. In tetrahedral complexes, here splitting of d orbitals in tetrahedral complexes is very difficult. Now, here we have to take tetrahedral geometry in a cube. In cube, we have 8 corners. Here, metal surrounded by 4 ligands. These 4 ligands attains 4 corners in a cube. Here, we see the tetrahedral complex. Here, the ligands are present between the xyz coordinates. Ligands are present between the xyz coordinates. Means the ligands approaches to the metal atom in xyz, between the xyz coordinates. So, we see the splitting pattern in tetrahedral geometry. In free metal state, all d orbitals are same energy, that is dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square and dz square. In spherical shape also, these are degenerate. Where when ligands approaches to the metal atom, because of ligand fail, what happen? These ligands approaches to the metal atom in between the axis. Whereas when ligands approaches to the metal atom between the axis, in that case, whose metal d orbitals have between the axis, they get higher energy. So, here dxz, dyz, dxz. These orbitals are between the axis. These are get higher energy, whereas dx square minus y square dz square, these orbitals along the axis, here this time we have less repulsion because of ligands present between the axis. Ligands approaches to the metal atom between the axis. That's why these get lower energy. But here, in the place of T2G and EG, we written as T2 and E. In tetrahedral complex, we written as, in place of T2G and EG, what we written? T2 and E. Why? Why? Because here in tetrahedral geometry, it lost the center of symmetry. Because of reason, we denoted as T2 and E. The energy difference between T2 and E, we denoted as delta T, that is crystal field stabilization energy in tetrahedral complex. These T2, okay, whereas this is the tetrahedral complex, this is the splitting pattern. Here the difference between T2 and EG, here we have to take T2, in place of T2 and E we have to take T2 and E, because here lost the center of symmetry in tetrahedral complex. The energy difference between T2 and E, we call it as delta T, that is crystal field stabilization energy in tetrahedral complexes, that is 10 dq. Here whereas T2 set gains higher energy, that is plus 0.4 delta T or plus 4 dq, whereas E set get lower energy, that is minus 0.6 delta T or minus 6 dq. Here plus denotes these orbitals get higher energy, whereas minus denotes these orbitals get lower energy. Now, splitting of d orbitals in square planar complexes. In square planar complexes, first already we see the previous slide, that is octahedral, the splitting of d orbitals in octahedral complexes. In octahedral complexes, the metal coordinated to the 6 ligands. In the 6 ligands, among 6, 2 ligands present x-axis, 2 ligands present along the y-axis, 2 ligands present along the z-axis. In that, 2 ligands present along the z-axis, here we have to remove 2 ligands from the z-axis. Here we get square planar complex. So, according to splitting pattern of octahedral geometry, we see the first, this is the splitting pattern of octahedral complexes. In octahedral complexes, EG set get higher energy, T2G set get lower energy. That's why dx square minus y square dz square orbitals get higher energy, whereas dxy, dxz, dyz gets lower energy. Now, in square planar complexes, the ligands present along the z-axis, these absent. So, that's why along the z-axis, the repulsion will be less. So, the splitting pattern is, first, in the dx square minus y square dz square, here the ligands along the z-axis absent. That's why this dz square orbitals get lower energy. And here 4 ligands, these 4 ligands approaches to the metal atom along the axis. Here dx square minus y square present along the axis, these orbital get higher energy. Whereas dxy, dxz, dyz, here z coordinate ligands will be absent. That's why these dxz, dyz orbitals get lower energy. And dxy, here ligands present along the axis, these dxy present between these lobes are present between the axis. So, somewhat repulsion will be takes place. Because of repulsion, they get higher energy. Here, the dx square minus y square attains 1.23 del naught energy, whereas dxy 0.23 del naught, whereas dz square minus 0.4 del naught, whereas dxz and dyz as minus 0.51 del naught. Here the energy difference between dx square minus y square and dxy we denoted as del naught. Del naught means crystal field stabilization energy in octahedral complexes. But total overall crystal field stabilization energy, for example, the crystal field stabilization energy from dx square minus y square to dxz dyz we denoted as delta sp. But dx square minus y square dxy we denoted as del naught. That means the crystal field stabilization energy in square planar complexes is more than the crystal field stabilization energy in octahedral complexes. This is the d orbital splitting in square planar complexes. Next, calculation of CFS. Before going to the topic, we have to learn about what is weak field, what is strong field. When weak field ligands approaches to the metal atom, what happened in octahedral geometry? How crystal field stabilization energy will vary when compared to weak field and strong field ligands. First, here we have to take one weak field ligand complex, one strong field. Here COF6 minus. In COF6 minus, when ligands approaches to the metal atom, when weak field ligands approaches to the metal atom, here what happened? The energy difference between Eg and T2G. For example, here the energy difference between Eg and T2G will less. T2G will less. Why? Because here, because of weak field ligand, it follows the Hund's rule. Hund's rule. Here, whereas strong field ligand, it do not follows the Hund's rule. Because of Hund's rule, we see the example of COF63- and COCN63-. In both cases, cobalt has D6 configuration. In D6 configuration, in weak field ligand, it follows the Hund's rule. That's why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In like that, electrons will be filled and it follows the Hund's rule. But in strong field complex, it do not follows the Hund's rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It do not follows the Hund's rule. So, higher orbital, if delta is small, high spin. High spin means here the orbital easily gains to higher energy. The electrons easily get to higher orbital. When weak field ligands approaches to the metal atom, the delta will be small in between the Eg and T2G. Whereas strong field ligand approaches to the metal atom, the delta value will be large. That's why it do not follows the Hund's rule. Whereas weak field ligands approaches to the metal atom, it follows the Hund's rule. So, in weak field ligands, small delta, high spin complex. Whereas strong field ligands, large delta, low spin complexes. Now, calculations of CFSC in octahedral complexes. First, we have to write the configuration, that is T2G, X, Eg, Y. This is the calculation of CFSC. CFSC, crystal field stabilization energy, equal to X into minus 0.4 del naught plus Y into plus 0.6 del naught plus Z into P, where X is a number of electrons present in the T2G set. Y is a number of electrons present in the EG set. Z is a pairing energy. For example, how many electron pairs present in the orbitals. Here we see the examples. First, D1 configuration. In D1 configuration, the electrons comes to the T2G set, where configuration is T2G1, EG0. That means X is equal to 1, Y is equal to 0. We substituted in this complex. Here Z, any pair of electrons is present? No. So, Z is equal to 0. We substituted the X value in this formula. We get minus 0.4 del naught. Whereas D2, in D2, the electrons come to the T2G set. Here X is equal to 2. When X is equal to 2, 2 4 ja 8, that is minus 0.8 del naught. Whereas D3, the electron comes to the T2G set. Now X is equal to 3, Y is equal to 0, Z is equal to 0. In place of X we have to substitute 3, we get minus 1.2 del naught, 4 3 is 12. D1, D2, D3. In strong field or weak field, any field, we get same value in octahedral complexes where configuration is D1, D2, D3. But the problem is D4. In D4, the fourth electron, for example, this is weak field, the fourth electron comes to the EG set, whereas strong field, it do not follows the Hund's rule, so the fourth electron comes to the T2G set. Whereas fourth electron comes to the EG set, that in that time X is equal to 3, Y is equal to 1. Whereas fourth electron present in the T2G set in strong field, X is equal to 4, Y is equal to 0. In this manner, we have to calculate the crystal field stabilization energy of octahedral complexes. We see the examples. Already we see the D1, D2, D3. In D1, D2, D3 sets, here these are the values. D1 equal to minus 4 dq, D2 is equal to minus 8 dq, D3 is equal to minus 12 dq. Whereas D4, in D4, here we have 4 electrons. In weak field, the fourth electron goes to the Eg set, whereas strong field, the fourth electron comes to the T2G set. Here weak field, the x is equal to 3, y is equal to 1, substituted in that formula we get minus 6 dq. Whereas strong field, x is equal to 4, y is equal to 0, we get minus 16 dq. But here one pair of electron is present, so we get plus p, plus 1p. In place of z we have to write 1. So 1p, that is p. Whereas D5 configuration. In D5 configuration we have 5 electrons. In weak field it follows the Hund's rule. That's why we get T2G orbitals 3, Eg set orbitals 2. So x is equal to 3, y is equal to 2. Substituted in that formula we get 0 dq. Whereas strong field, it do not follows the Hund's rule. So 5 electrons comes to the T2G set. In that case, x is equal to 5, z is equal to 2, y is equal to 0. We get minus 20 dq plus 2p. Whereas D6 configuration. In D6 configuration, we have total 6 electrons. In weak field, it follows the Hund's rule. 4 electrons comes to the T2G set, 2 electrons comes to the Eg set. So we get Eg set, we get minus 4 dq. Only one pair of electrons takes place, so z is equal to 1, we get plus p. Whereas strong field, here 6 electrons comes to the T2G set, where x is equal to 6, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 3. In this manner, we have to calculate the D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. In D7, we have 7 electrons. In weak field, the T2G set attains 5 electrons, Eg set attains 2 electrons, x is equal to 5, y is equal to 2, z is equal to, substituted in that formula, we get minus 8 dq plus 2p. Whereas strong field, it do not follows the Hund's rule. That's why T2G get 6 electrons, Eg get 1 electron. That's why x is equal to 6, y is equal to 2. We get, y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 3. We get minus 18 dq plus 3p. In D8, we see the D8 configuration in weak field and strong field. We have same value. And D9 and D10 also we get same. So in this case, only variation should be D4, D5, D6, D7. In 4 cases, the strong field and weak field have different configuration, whereas D1, D2, D3, D8, D9, D10, whereas strong field ligands or weak field ligands, we get same delta values. This is the calculation of crystal field stabilization energy in octahedral complexes when weak field ligands and strong field ligands approaches to the metal atom. Now, very important topic, last topic is merits and demerits of crystal field theory. What are the merits? First is, already we know the crystal field theory. In the crystal field theory is more quantitative in approach compared to the valence bond theory. Compared to valence bond theory, it is more quantitative. Next, it considered both the metal ion and ligands as the point charges, and hence quantitative calculations of stabilization energy of complexes by electrostatic methods is made easier. Next one, here further crystal field theory was able to calculate the stabilization energies of the metal complexes quantitatively. Next, the theory could explain well the spectral and magnetic behavior of metal complexes. The reasons for some metal ions forming low spin complexes, with some metal ions from high spin complexes, with other ligands are well explained by CFT using by spectrochemical series. In that we have to don't discuss about spectrochemical series, but using spectrochemical series we have to find out low spin, high spin, and where unpaired electrons are present, this is paramagnetic, paired all are paired, that is diamagnetic. So magnetic behavior also predict the using crystal field theory. These are the merits and demerits. Demerits of crystal field theory. Here, the crystal field theory considered the metal ligand bond purely as an ionic bond, but this is not true in all complexes. Crystal field theory, in the crystal field theory, the nature of bond between metal ion and ligand is 100% ionic అని చెప్పుకున్నాం, but this is not true in all complexes. Next, crystal field theory predicts that octahedral complexes are more stable than tetrahedral complexes, but there are many tetrahedral complexes which are more stable. This is due to other reasons. These reasons are not considered by crystal field theory. Next, ligands has point charges is not fully correct. That means considering every ligand as a point charge is not fully correct, since many organic ligands are very bulky and possess specific three-dimensional arrangement. This will have its own effect. That means on the stability of the complex. Steric effects are not taken into account of crystal field theory. Steric effects గురించి ఎటువంటి ఎఫెక్ట్ అది కూడా ఇవ్వలేకపోయింది అనమాట. దీస్ ఆర్ ద demerits. Last, references. To I am taking this topic by using these are the reference books: Inorganic Chemistry by P.L. Soni, Mohan Katyal, and selected topics in inorganic chemistry by Dr. Wahid U. Malik and G.D. Thuli and Dr. R.D. Madan. డాక్టర్ వహీద్ యు మాలిక్ మామూలుగా కోటిలో పోయి ఎంఎంటీ బుక్స్ అంటే ఎవరైనా ఇస్తారు, చాలా బాగుంటుంది, చూసుకోండి. దిస్ ఈజ్ ద సెలెక్టెడ్ టాపిక్స్ ఇన్ ఇన్ఆర్గానిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ బై ఎంఎంటీ అనండి ఇస్తారు, చాలా బాగుంటుంది. టోటల్ ఇన్ఆర్గానిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ అనేది కవర్ అయిపోతుంది. థ్యాంక్ యూ.